It was my birthday, a day I had always cherished. The living room was filled with the smell of freshly baked cake and the sound of soft music playing in the background. I had planned a surprise for my wife, Olha, to show her my appreciation. As I approached the kitchen, ready to reveal the bouquet of flowers I had hidden behind my back, I heard laughter. It wasn't just any laughter, it was Olha's laugh, mixed with the deeper voice of a man. Curiosity turned into confusion, and then a knot of anxiety in my stomach. I took a step closer and peeked through the slightly ajar kitchen door. There she was, sitting on the lap of another man. My heart skipped a beat. She hadn't noticed me yet, her head thrown back in laughter as she ran her fingers through his hair. "Olha!" I called out, my voice breaking the illusion of a perfect day. She turned, her face drained of color as our eyes met. The man, unfazed, looked up and smirked. "Hey, I'm Ihor!" The room fell silent, the weight of the moment pressing down on us. Olha stood up abruptly, stepping away from Ihor, her eyes filled with panic. "It's not what it looks like," she started, but the words felt hollow, meaningless. Ihor leaned back casually, a smirk still on his face. "Actually, it's exactly what it looks like. We've been seeing each other for months now," he said, his tone arrogant and unapologetic. A surge of emotions overwhelmed me. Rage, betrayal, sorrow. But amidst the turmoil, there was a part of me that understood her words when she said, "I haven't felt happy in our marriage for a long time." Her confession hit hard. Deep down, I knew our relationship had become cold, distant. That night, I packed my bags and left. My old friend Max offered me a place to stay, giving me the space I needed to process everything. Those first few nights were the hardest, filled with sleepless hours and endless questions. How could she? Why him? And what now? As the days passed, my initial shock began to transform into something else. A plan started to take shape in my mind. A plan for the sweetest revenge. Not just to get back at Olha, but to dismantle Ihor's life piece by piece. He would regret ever crossing paths with me. I began by gathering information about Ihor. He was more than just Olha's boss. He was a wealthy entrepreneur with a labyrinth of secrets and enemies. I reached out to contacts who had dealt with him before, learning about his shady dealings and underhanded tactics. One thing was clear. Ihor was far from untouchable. With the right moves, his empire could crumble. It was time to use his own arrogance against him. The first step was easy. An anonymous tip to the tax authorities, detailing his financial irregularities, was enough to spark the first wave of trouble. Watching from a distance, I saw the impact of the investigations begin to unfold, causing ripples of panic in Ihor's life. But that was just the beginning. To truly make this a sweet revenge, I needed Olha back on my side. I returned to her, feigning remorse and a desire to fix our marriage. Desperate and facing turmoil at work, she agreed to give us another chance. It was a calculated risk but necessary for my plan. With Olha's trust regained, I gathered more dirt on Ihor. Every detail she inadvertently provided was another nail in his coffin. She had no idea she was helping to destroy the man she thought she loved. The next blow came from Ihor's competitors. Armed with the information I had collected, they launched a public scandal that tarnished his reputation. His business associates turned their backs, and his world began to crumble. The final strike was the most personal. I sent all the evidence of Ihor's infidelity and criminal activities to his wife. Her reaction was explosive, and the fallout was everything I'd hoped for. Ihor lost his business, his standing in the community, and his family. Olha, now fully aware of Ihor's true nature, left him and came back to me. Our relationship, once broken, started anew on more equal terms. In the end, the sweetest revenge wasn't just in Ihor's downfall, but in reclaiming my own life and love. Leaving the house that night was one of the hardest things I had ever done. The memories of our life together played out in my mind like an old film reel as I packed my bags in silence. The laughter, the arguments, the dreams we had shared, all now tainted by the image of Olha with Ihor. I knew staying would only prolong the agony, so I left, taking only the essentials and my shattered pride. My friend Max welcomed me into his home without hesitation. Max and I had been friends since college, and he was one of the few people I could trust unconditionally. "Stay as long as you need," he said, offering a sympathetic smile. Despite his kindness, the first few nights were unbearable. Sleep eluded me, and the silence of the night was filled with tormenting thoughts. In the midst of this turmoil, a spark ignited within me. It wasn't enough to simply move on. I needed to make Ihor pay. Not out of petty vengeance, but to reclaim my sense of self-worth that he had tried to strip away. Ihor had played his part in wrecking my life, and now it was my turn to dismantle his. I started my quest by diving deep into Ihor's world. Late-night internet searches and conversations with Max, who had a network of contacts in various industries, helped me piece together Ihor's profile. He was not only Olha's boss, but also a high-profile entrepreneur with a penchant for shady deals and a trail of disgruntled former associates. One evening, as Max and I sat in his living room, he handed me a glass of whiskey and said, "I know a guy who can help you get more on Ihor. He's worked in corporate investigations for years. It might be worth a shot." With a nod, I agreed. It was time to gather ammunition. The investigator, a wiry man named Andrei, proved to be invaluable. Over the next few weeks, he uncovered a trove of information about Ihor's illegal activities, from tax evasion to fraudulent contracts. Each piece of evidence was like a brick in the wall I was building around Ihor, sealing his fate. With enough dirt to start a firestorm, I made my first move. Anonymously, I tipped off the tax authorities about Ihor's financial misdeeds. It didn't take long for the repercussions to hit. Ihor's offices were raided, documents seized, and a full-scale investigation was launched. Watching the news reports about the raid gave me a grim sense of satisfaction. It was just the beginning. To get closer to Ihor and gather more intel, I needed Ola back in my life. I returned to her under the guise of reconciliation. "I've had time to think," I told her, masking my true intentions. "I want to make things right between us." She seemed hesitant, but the strain Ihor's troubles had put on their relationship made her more receptive. Living under the same roof again was strange. Olha was cautious, perhaps sensing that something was amiss. Yet, as days turned into weeks, she began to relax, believing in my false remorse. During this time, I subtly probed for information about Ihor. Casual conversations yielded valuable insights, which I carefully noted. Meanwhile, the corporate world buzzed with rumors of Ihor's impending downfall. His competitors, armed with the information I provided, saw an opportunity to strike. They leaked scandalous details about his business practices to the media, causing his reputation to plummet. Ihor was fighting battles on multiple fronts, his empire unraveling piece by piece. The final blow came from an unexpected source, his own wife. Using the evidence I had gathered, I sent her a detailed package exposing Ihor's infidelity and crimes. The fallout was immediate and devastating. She left him, taking their children and filing for divorce. Ihor, once a man of power and influence, was now a pariah. In the aftermath of the chaos, Olha came to me, tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry for everything," she said, her voice trembling. "I didn't know how much I had lost until it was too late." Her regret was genuine, and I could see the weight of her mistakes bearing down on her. We decided to start anew, rebuilding our relationship on a foundation of honesty and mutual respect. The path ahead was uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, I felt a glimmer of hope. My sweetest revenge was complete, not in the destruction of Ihor, but in the restoration of my own life and love. Reintegrating into my old life with Olha was like stepping into a carefully constructed web, each thread a potential lead in my ongoing campaign against Ihor. While outwardly I projected the image of a man seeking reconciliation, internally I was constantly strategizing, piecing together the puzzle of Ihor's downfall. Our home, once a place of warmth and laughter, now felt like a battlefield where every conversation was a potential clue. Olha, seemingly relieved to have me back, unknowingly provided bits of information about Ihor's current state. He was under immense pressure, both professionally and personally. The tax investigations were relentless, and his business associates were growing wary. One evening, while we were having dinner, Olha mentioned that Ihor had been unusually stressed about a particular deal that was on the brink of collapse. "It's with some foreign investors," she said, sipping her wine. "If it falls through, it could ruin him." This was exactly the kind of information I needed. Using this lead, I contacted Andrei, the investigator. "I need you to find out everything about this foreign deal," I instructed. Andrei, with his extensive network, was able to uncover details within days. The deal was critical for Ihor's company, a lifeline amidst the turmoil. Meanwhile, my nightly conversations with Olha continued to yield valuable insights. She mentioned a high-profile event Ihor was hosting to reassure his investors. It was an opportunity I couldn't pass up. I needed to be there, to observe and perhaps find another crack in his armor. Through some old contacts, I managed to secure an invitation to the event. The night of the gala was a whirlwind of opulence and tension. Ihor, dressed in an immaculate suit, was the picture of charm, but I could see the strain in his eyes. He was struggling to keep up appearances, to project confidence in the face of growing adversity. I kept my distance, mingling with the crowd, listening intently. Conversations swirled around potential deals, market trends, and most importantly, Ihor's precarious position. It was here that I overheard a crucial tidbit. An investor was on the fence, requiring reassurance of Ihor's stability. This was the weak link I had been searching for. Back home, I used this information to further destabilize Ihor. A carefully crafted anonymous letter to the wavering investor, filled with details of Ihor's ongoing investigations and legal troubles, was enough to tip the scales. The deal collapsed, and the investor pulled out. Ihor's lifeline was severed. As Ihor's professional world crumbled, his personal life was not far behind. Olha, still unaware of my true intentions, began to confide in me more and more. She was distraught over Ihor's erratic behavior, his outbursts of anger, and increasing paranoia. She blamed herself, thinking that their affair had somehow cursed his fortune. I offered her comfort, all the while knowing that I was the architect of his misery. Then came the final piece of the puzzle, an offhand remark from Olha about Ihor's hidden assets. He had stashed away a significant amount of money in an offshore account, a failsafe in case everything went wrong. This was the nail in his coffin. With Andri's help, I obtained proof of these accounts and forwarded the information to the authorities. The fallout was swift and brutal. Ihor was charged with financial crimes, his assets frozen, and his public image shattered. The man who had once seemed untouchable was now facing the full force of the law. His remaining allies deserted him, and his empire lay in ruins. In the aftermath, Olha was a wreck, torn between guilt and relief. She turned to me, seeking solace in our renewed relationship. "I don't know what I would have done without you," she admitted one night, her voice breaking. I held her, whispering reassurances, knowing that my plan had come to fruition. Our life together began to stabilize, the chaos of the past months slowly fading. Olha, free from Ihor's influence, started to find her own path, rebuilding her career and our relationship. As for me, I felt a profound sense of closure. The journey had been arduous, filled with moral ambiguities, but in the end, I had achieved my goal. The sweetest revenge wasn't just about destroying Ihor. It was about reclaiming my life, my dignity, and my love. I had navigated a web of secrets and emerged victorious, ready to start anew with Olha by my side. As Ihor's life continued to crumble, the weight of my deception became more pronounced. Despite the satisfaction of seeing him brought low, the moral cost of my actions gnawed at me. Olha was happier than I had seen her in years, but our renewed relationship was built on a foundation of lies. How much longer could I maintain this facade? One evening, as we sat on the couch watching TV, Olha leaned her head on my shoulder. "I can't believe how much things have changed," she said softly. "I'm so glad we're back together. I never thought we'd find our way back after everything." Her words pierced through me. While I had achieved my goal, the cost was becoming increasingly clear. I had manipulated her trust to exact my revenge, and now, with Ihor out of the picture, I had to confront the reality of my actions. Could our relationship truly be rebuilt on a foundation of lies? Despite my internal turmoil, I continued to play my part. Olha's trust in me grew, and she began to open up about her feelings more than ever before. She confessed her regrets about the affair, her guilt over betraying me, and her relief that we were moving forward. Each confession made my deception feel heavier, but I couldn't bring myself to reveal the truth. Meanwhile, Ihor's life had hit rock bottom. His legal troubles compounded, and he was facing possible jail time. The media had a field day with his downfall, painting a picture of a once powerful man brought low by his own greed and arrogance. I monitored the news closely, ensuring that my actions had thoroughly dismantled his empire. There was no going back for him. One night, Olha and I attended a small dinner party hosted by Max and his wife. It was a chance to unwind and socialize after the months of turmoil. The evening was pleasant, filled with laughter and conversation. At one point, Max pulled me aside. "You did it, man," he said quietly. "Ihor's finished. How does it feel?" I hesitated, unsure of how to respond. "It feels complicated," I admitted. "I got what I wanted, but it's not as satisfying as I thought it would be." Max nodded, understanding in his eyes. "Revenge is a tricky thing. Just make sure you don't lose yourself in the process." His words lingered with me as the night went on. Had I lost myself? The plan that once seemed so justifiable now felt tainted by the lies and manipulations I had employed. Olha deserved better, and I knew I couldn't keep up the charade forever. As weeks turned into months, Olha and I began to find a new rhythm in our life together. She started a new job, throwing herself into her work with a renewed sense of purpose. I focused on my own career, trying to rebuild the parts of my life that had been neglected during my pursuit of revenge. But the guilt remained, a constant shadow. One evening, as we sat on the porch watching the sunset, Olha turned to me with a serious expression. "There's something I need to know," she said, her voice steady. "When you came back to me, was it because you truly wanted to fix things? Or was it because Ihor's downfall made it easier?" Her question caught me off guard. I looked into her eyes, searching for the right words. "I did want to fix things," I began slowly. "But I won't lie, Ihor's downfall played a part. I wanted to protect you from him, to make sure he couldn't hurt you anymore." Olha studied my face, sensing the half-truth. "You're not telling me everything, are you?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. I took a deep breath, the weight of my deception pressing down on me. "No, I'm not," I admitted. "There's more to the story, and you deserve to know the truth." Over the next hour, I laid everything bare, the revenge plan, the manipulations, the lies. Olha listened in silence, her expression a mix of shock and hurt. When I finished, the silence between us was deafening. "I don't know what to say," she finally whispered, tears welling up in her eyes. "I thought we were rebuilding something real." "We are," I insisted, my own voice breaking. "I did what I thought was necessary, but I see now that I hurt you in the process. I'm sorry, Olha, truly." She stood up, taking a step back. "I need some time to think," she said, her voice trembling. "I need to understand what all of this means for us." As she walked away, the weight of my actions crashed down on me. I had achieved my revenge, but at what cost? The sweetest revenge had turned bitter, and now I was left to face the consequences of my deceit. In the days that followed, Ola and I lived in a strained silence. She moved through the house like a ghost, lost in her thoughts. I gave her space, understanding that she needed time to process everything. The trust we had begun to rebuild was now fractured again, and I wasn't sure if it could ever be fully restored. One evening she approached me. "I've been thinking a lot," she said quietly. "About us, about everything that's happened. I don't know if I can ever fully forgive you, but I also understand why you did what you did. Ihor hurt us both, and your actions, while extreme, came from a place of pain." I nodded, my throat tight with emotion. "I understand if you can't forgive me," I replied, "but I want to try and make things right, if you'll let me." Olha sighed, a mixture of resignation and hope in her eyes. "We'll take it one day at a time. No more secrets, no more lies." As we stood there, a fragile understanding between us, I realized that the journey ahead would be long and difficult. But for the first time, there was a glimmer of hope that we could rebuild our life together, piece by piece. The sweetest revenge had led us down a dark path, but perhaps now we could find our way back to the light. The fragile understanding between Ola and me was the beginning of a long, arduous journey. Each day was a delicate dance, balancing the hope of reconciliation with the lingering shadows of betrayal. As we moved forward, the weight of our past actions often loomed over us, but we were determined to rebuild. Our first step was to seek professional help. We began attending couples therapy, where we could confront our issues in a controlled environment. Our therapist, a kind but firm woman named Daria, guided us through the process of unpacking our emotions and understanding the motivations behind our actions. During one session, Daria asked us to recount the pivotal moments that led to our estrangement. Olha spoke about her feelings of loneliness and neglect, how she had sought comfort in Ihor's attention. It was painful to hear, but it gave me insight into her perspective. I know what I did was wrong, Olha said, tears streaming down her face. But at the time, I felt so disconnected from you. Ihor was a mistake, a terrible mistake, but he made me feel seen. I took a deep breath, my own eyes misting. I understand now, I said. I wasn't there for you when you needed me. I see that. But instead of addressing our problems, I focused on revenge. I thought taking down Ihor would make everything better, but it just added more pain. Daria nodded, her expression encouraging. Acknowledging these feelings is the first step. Now let's work on building a healthier way to communicate and support each other. Outside of therapy, Olha and I made a conscious effort to spend quality time together. We revisited places that held special memories for us, like the park where we had our first date and the cafe where we would spend lazy Sunday mornings. These moments helped rekindle the connection that had been lost. One evening, we decided to take a short trip to the countryside, away from the chaos of our everyday lives. The serene landscape and quietness provided a much-needed respite. We hiked through the woods, cooked meals together, and talked about our dreams and fears. During one of these conversations, Olha turned to me, her eyes reflecting the firelight. "I want to trust you again," she said softly. "But it's going to take time. I need to know that we're in this together, that you're not hiding anything from me." "I promise," I replied, taking her hand. "No more secrets. We'll face everything together, no matter how difficult." Our trip marked a turning point. We returned home with a renewed sense of commitment to each other. But despite our progress, Ihor's shadow still lingered. His downfall had not only affected him, but had ripple effects that touched many lives, including ours. One day, as I was leaving work, I ran into Ihor's wife, Alina. She looked tired, her eyes hollow. "Can we talk?" she asked, her voice tinged with desperation. We sat at a nearby cafe, and she poured out her heart. "Ihor's actions have destroyed our family. Our children are suffering, and I'm struggling to keep everything together. I know you played a role in his downfall. I'm not here to accuse you, but I need to understand why." Her words struck a chord. "I did what I thought was necessary to protect myself and Olha," I admitted, "but I didn't consider the wider impact. I'm truly sorry for the pain it has caused your family." Alina sighed, wiping a tear from her cheek. "Ihor brought this upon himself, but it doesn't make it any easier. I just hope you find peace, and that we can all move forward from this." Our conversation left me with a deep sense of remorse. The vengeance I had sought so fervently had created a cascade of suffering. As I walked home, I realized that true healing would require more than just rebuilding my relationship with Olha. It meant making amends for the collateral damage my actions had caused. That evening, I shared the encounter with Olha. She listened quietly, her expression thoughtful. "I think it's time we try to make things right," she said. "Not just for us, but for everyone affected." We decided to reach out to those impacted by Ihor's downfall, starting with his former employees. Many had lost their jobs and were struggling to find new ones. We organized a small community event, inviting them to connect with potential employers and offering support where we could. The event was a small step, but it felt right. Seeing the gratitude in people's eyes and knowing we were helping to rebuild lives brought a sense of fulfillment that revenge never could. As Olha and I continued to work on our relationship, we also focused on repairing the broader damage. It was a long road, but each step brought us closer to a place of true healing. In the end, the journey taught us that the sweetest revenge wasn't in destroying Ihor, but in finding the strength to rebuild and the courage to seek forgiveness. We emerged from the ordeal stronger, more united, and with a deeper understanding of what it meant to truly love and support each other. Despite our efforts to heal, the ghost of my deceit lingered, refusing to be fully exorcised. Our attempts to rebuild trust had been genuine, but the foundations were still fragile. The deeper we delved into our past, the more apparent it became that some wounds had not yet healed. One afternoon, while cleaning out the attic, I stumbled upon an old box of photographs. It was filled with memories from happier times, vacations, family gatherings, random snapshots of our life together. As I sorted through them, I found a series of photos from a trip to the coast we had taken a few years ago. The pictures captured moments of pure joy, moments that felt like they belonged to another life. Olha joined me, sitting down beside me as we sifted through the photos. "We were so happy back then," she remarked, a tinge of sadness in her voice. "We were," I agreed, "and we can be again. We just have to keep working at it." But even as I said the words, I felt a pang of doubt. Was it truly possible to recapture that happiness, or were we simply clinging to a past that no longer existed? As we continued to clean, Olha found an old journal of mine. She hesitated before handing it to me. "I remember this," she said softly. "You used to write in it all the time." I took the journal from her, flipping through the pages. It was filled with my thoughts and feelings from years ago, a time capsule of my inner world. As I read through the entries, I was struck by how much had changed and how much had stayed the same. The journal entries from the period when I discovered Olha's affair were particularly painful to read. They were filled with anger, betrayal, and a burning desire for revenge. "Maybe it's time we both let go of the past," Olha suggested gently. "We can't move forward if we're constantly looking back." Her words resonated with me, but letting go was easier said than done. The past was a part of us, woven into the fabric of our relationship. Ignoring it wouldn't make it disappear. A few days later, Ihor's trial began. The media coverage was intense, and every detail of his downfall was laid bare for the world to see. As I watched the news reports, I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. Ihor was finally getting what he deserved, but the satisfaction was fleeting, replaced by a gnawing emptiness. One evening, after watching a particularly damning news segment about Ihor's trial, Olha turned to me with a pained expression. "I can't stop thinking about what you told me," she confessed, "about how you orchestrated his downfall. It's hard to reconcile the man I love with the man who did that." "I know," I said quietly. "I've been struggling with it too." Olha sighed, her eyes filled with uncertainty. "I thought we were past this, but it feels like it's still hanging over us. Maybe we need to confront it head-on once and for all." Her suggestion made sense, but it was daunting. Confronting the past meant reopening old wounds, delving into the darkest parts of our history. But if we were to truly move forward, it was a step we had to take. We decided to take a trip to the place where it all began, the small coastal town where we had first met and fallen in love. It was a place filled with memories, both good and bad, and we hoped it would help us find some clarity. The drive to the coast was long and filled with silence. Both of us were lost in our thoughts, contemplating what lay ahead. When we finally arrived, we checked into a quaint bed and breakfast and set out to explore the town. As we walked along the beach, the salty air and crashing waves brought back a flood of memories. We talked about our past, our hopes, and our fears. It was a cathartic experience, allowing us to air out the pain and confusion that had been festering inside us. One evening, as we sat on the porch of the bed and breakfast, Olha turned to me with tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry for everything," she said. "For the affair, for the lies, for the hurt. I've been holding on to so much guilt, and it's been tearing me apart." I took her hand, my own eyes wet with tears. "I'm sorry too, for my obsession with revenge, for the deceit, for everything. I thought I was doing the right thing, but I see now that I was only adding to the pain." We sat in silence for a long time, holding each other and letting the tears flow. It was a moment of raw vulnerability, a necessary step in our journey towards healing. The next day, we visited the spot where we had first met, a small cafe by the sea. We sat at the same table, ordered the same drinks, and reminisced about that fateful day. It was a poignant reminder of how far we had come and how much we had endured. As our trip came to an end, we both felt a sense of closure. The past would always be a part of us, but it no longer held the same power over us. We had confronted our demons and emerged stronger, more united than ever. Returning home, we felt a renewed sense of hope. The road ahead would still be challenging, but we were ready to face it together. The journey of rebuilding trust and healing our relationship was far from over, but we were committed to making it work. In the aftermath of vengeance, we had found something far more valuable, a deeper understanding of ourselves and each other. The sweetest revenge had turned into the sweetest redemption, and with it, the possibility of a brighter future. The peace we found in the coastal town gave Ola and me the strength to continue our journey of healing. However, Just when we thought we had started to rebuild a semblance of normalcy, a revelation came that shook our world once again. One quiet morning, Olha received an unexpected call from an old friend, Natalia. They had fallen out of touch over the years, but Natalia's voice over the phone was urgent. "We need to talk, Olha. It's about Ihor," she said, her tone somber. Olha arranged to meet Natalia at a nearby cafe. As I watched her leave, a sense of foreboding washed over me. What new information could Natalia possibly have that was so crucial? Several hours later, Olha returned, her face pale and eyes wide with shock. "We need to talk," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. We sat down at the kitchen table, and she took a deep breath before beginning. "Natalia told me something I never expected. Ihor. He's been blackmailing people for years. And it wasn't just his own schemes. He had a network." I leaned forward, my heart pounding. "What do you mean? A network?" Olha nodded, her hands trembling slightly. "He had dirt on so many people, businessmen, politicians, even some of our friends. He used that information to control them, to get what he wanted. And apparently he kept records. Detailed records. Natalia found out because her husband was one of his targets." The gravity of the situation sank in. Ihor's downfall had been more intricate than I had ever imagined. My plan for revenge had only scratched the surface of his deceit. "Do you think anyone else knows about these records?" I asked. "Natalia thinks they're hidden somewhere," Olha replied. "And if they come to light, a lot of powerful people will be implicated. It could cause a scandal bigger than anything we've seen." The next few days were a whirlwind of emotions and decisions. Olha and I debated whether to search for the records ourselves or to inform the authorities. Trust was fragile, and the fear of further consequences loomed over us. In the end, we decided to find the records. If Ihor's web of deceit was as extensive as Natalia suggested, it was crucial to uncover the truth ourselves before involving anyone else. Olha and I began by piecing together clues from the information Natalia had provided. We traced Ihor's steps, revisiting places he had frequented and speaking to people who might know something. One afternoon, while searching through Ihor's old office, Olha stumbled upon a hidden compartment in his desk. Inside was a small locked box. "This could be it," she whispered, her eyes wide with anticipation. We took the box home and carefully pried it open. Inside, we found a treasure trove of documents, photographs, and USB drives. It was clear that Ihor had meticulously documented his exploits, keeping detailed records of his blackmail operations. As we pored over the contents, the extent of Ihor's manipulation became painfully clear. He had ruined lives, destroyed careers, and manipulated people for his own gain. The more we uncovered, the more I realized how deeply his deceit had permeated our lives and the lives of those around us. One document in particular caught our attention. It was a letter addressed to Olha, written in Ihor's scrawled handwriting. It detailed how he had planned to use her affair to control both her and me, leveraging our vulnerabilities to his advantage. The sheer audacity and cruelty of his plan left us both reeling. "I can't believe he would go this far," Olha said, her voice choked with emotion. "He used me as a pawn in his game. He used us both. We need to take this to the authorities," I said firmly. "This isn't just about us anymore. Ihor's actions have hurt so many people. They deserve justice." Olha nodded, her resolve hardening. "You're right. We can't let his crimes go unpunished." The decision to hand over the evidence to the authorities was not easy. We knew it would open old wounds and bring intense scrutiny into our lives once again. But it was the right thing to do. We contacted a trusted attorney and arranged to meet with law enforcement. As we handed over the box of evidence, a sense of finality washed over us. Ihor's web of deceit would finally be exposed and justice would be served. In the days that followed, the media erupted with news of the scandal. Names of prominent figures surfaced, and the extent of Ihor's blackmail network became a topic of national conversation. It was a bittersweet victory, knowing that our actions had brought truth to light, but also reopening painful chapters of our lives. Through it all, Olha and I stood by each other's side. The journey had been long and fraught with challenges, but we had emerged stronger. The sweetest revenge had morphed into a quest for justice, and in the process, we had found redemption and a deeper bond. As we looked toward the future, the weight of the past still lingered. but it no longer held the same power over us. We had faced our demons, uncovered the truth, and were ready to embrace whatever came next, together. The exposure of Ihor's extensive network of blackmail and deceit created a whirlwind of chaos. News outlets and social media were ablaze with the scandal, and countless lives were upended as the full extent of Ihor's machinations came to light. Olha and I watched the fallout with a mixture of relief and anxiety, knowing we had done the right thing, but bracing for the personal ramifications that would inevitably follow. Despite the chaos, life continued. We focused on maintaining our routines, drawing strength from each other, and our commitment to rebuilding our lives. However, the revelations brought with them a persistent sense of unfinished business. Ihor's reach had been vast, and while justice was being served, there were still loose ends that needed to be addressed. One evening, as Olha and I sat in our living room, she turned to me with a serious expression. "There's one more thing we need to do," she said, her voice steady. "We need to visit Ihor." I was taken aback. "Visit Ihor? In prison?" Ola nodded. "I need closure. We both do. We need to confront him one last time and let him know that his control over us is truly over." The thought of facing Ihor again filled me with dread, but I understood Olha's need for closure. We had come so far, and this final confrontation felt like the necessary last step in our journey. We made the arrangements, and a few days later, we found ourselves standing outside the imposing gates of the prison where Ihor was being held. The cold, gray walls seemed to mirror the sense of unease that gripped my heart. As we were led through the sterile corridors, the reality of what we were about to do settled heavily upon us. We were escorted into a small, stark visitation room. Ihor was already seated at the table, his appearance disheveled and his eyes hollow. The once powerful man now looked broken and defeated. When he saw us, a flicker of recognition and surprise crossed his face. "Well, well," he said, his voice laced with bitterness. "I didn't expect to see you two here." Olha and I sat down across from him. For a moment there was only silence, the weight of our shared history hanging in the air. "We came here to tell you that your hold over us is finished," Olha began, her voice firm. "Your lies, your manipulation, it's all over. We've exposed your network, and justice is being served." Ihor's expression hardened. "You think you've won? You think you're better than me?" "It's not about winning," I replied calmly. "It's about ending the cycle of deceit and manipulation. It's about moving forward with our lives without your shadow hanging over us." Ihor scoffed, but there was a flicker of something else in his eyes, fear perhaps or regret. "You've ruined me," he said, his voice trembling. "Everything I built, everything I controlled, gone." "You ruined yourself, Ihor," Olha said softly. "Your actions, your choices, they led you here. We're not here to gloat. We're here to let go." For a moment, Ihor seemed to deflate, the fight draining out of him. He looked down at his hands, the weight of his downfall pressing heavily upon him. "I never thought it would end like this," he muttered. "I never thought it would come to this." We sat in silence, the enormity of the moment washing over us. There was no satisfaction in Ihor's defeat, only a deep sense of sadness for what could have been. His choices had led him down a dark path, and now he was paying the price. As we stood to leave, Ihor looked up, his eyes meeting mine. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice barely audible, "for everything." It was a hollow apology, but it was something. I nodded, acknowledging his words but not fully accepting them. There was too much history, too much pain for a simple apology to make things right. Outside the prison, the air felt different, lighter somehow. Ola and I stood together, the weight of the past finally lifting from our shoulders. We had confronted our demons and emerged stronger, more united than ever. In the days that followed, the media frenzy began to die down, and life started to return to a semblance of normalcy. Ola and I focused on our future, drawing closer with each passing day. The journey had been long and painful, but it had also forged an unbreakable bond between us. One evening, as we sat on our porch, watching the sunset over the horizon, Olha turned to me with a smile. "We made it," she said softly. "We faced everything and came out stronger." I took her hand, feeling a deep sense of gratitude and love. "We did," I agreed. And now we can finally move forward. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over our home, I felt a sense of peace that had eluded me for so long. The past would always be a part of us, but it no longer defined us. We had faced our darkest moments, confronted our deepest fears, and emerged on the other side with a newfound strength and resilience. The sweetest revenge had led us down a path of pain and suffering, but it had also brought us to a place of healing and redemption. Together, we were ready to embrace the future, knowing that no matter what challenges lay ahead, we would face them together, stronger and more united than ever before. With Ihor's chapter finally closed, Olha and I turned our focus fully toward rebuilding our lives and strengthening our relationship. The journey had been tumultuous, filled with betrayal, revenge, and ultimately redemption. Now, we were determined to shape a future filled with hope and love. One of our first steps was to continue attending couples therapy. Although we had made significant progress, we recognized the importance of ongoing support to navigate the complexities of rebuilding trust and communication. Our therapist, Daria, had become a trusted guide, helping us navigate the aftermath of Ihor's downfall and its impact on our lives. During therapy sessions, we delved into deeper conversations about our goals, dreams, and fears. We explored ways to nurture our relationship and create a stronger foundation based on honesty and mutual respect. Olha and I also learned effective communication strategies that allowed us to express our emotions and resolve conflicts constructively. Outside of therapy, we made a conscious effort to prioritize quality time together. We revisited old hobbies and explored new ones, finding joy in shared experiences and creating cherished memories. Whether it was cooking together, taking long walks in nature, or simply curling up with a book, every moment spent together reaffirmed our commitment to each other. One pivotal moment came during a weekend getaway to a secluded cabin in the mountains. Surrounded by breathtaking scenery and the tranquility of nature, Olha and I found solace in each other's presence. As we sat by a crackling fire one evening, under a canopy of stars, we reflected on our journey. "I never thought we would come this far," Olha said softly, her gaze fixed on the dancing flames. "After everything we've been through, I feel like we've grown stronger together." I nodded, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. Me too. Despite the pain and uncertainty, we found a way to heal and move forward. In that quiet moment, I realized how far we had come from the turmoil of betrayal and revenge. Our journey had tested our resilience and challenged us to confront our deepest fears, but it had also revealed the depth of our love and commitment to each other. As we returned home from our getaway, we began to focus on our individual growth as well. Olha pursued her passion for painting, creating vibrant canvases that captured the beauty of life beyond our struggles. Her artwork became a source of inspiration and healing, a reflection of her journey towards self-discovery and renewal. For my part, I immersed myself in volunteer work within our community. I found fulfillment in helping others, whether it was mentoring young adults, organizing local events, or lending a hand to those in need. Giving back became an integral part of my healing process, a way to channel the lessons learned from our tumultuous experience into positive action. Together, Olha and I also embarked on new adventures, traveling to places we had always dreamed of visiting. Each trip offered us a chance to create new memories and deepen our connection, celebrating our resilience and newfound appreciation for life's simple joys. Throughout it all, we continued to support each other through moments of doubt and uncertainty. There were times when old wounds resurfaced, triggering painful memories of betrayal and loss. But we faced these challenges together, offering reassurance and understanding as we navigated the complexities of rebuilding trust and forging a future filled with hope. As the months passed, our relationship blossomed into a beacon of strength and resilience. We celebrated milestones together, from anniversaries of reconciliation to personal achievements that marked our individual growth. Our journey had taught us that true healing was a gradual process, requiring patience, compassion, and unwavering commitment to each other's well-being. Looking back on our tumultuous journey, I couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at how far we had come. What had started as a tale of betrayal and vengeance had evolved into a story of redemption and renewal. Our love had weathered the storm, emerging stronger and more resilient than ever before. As I held Olha's hand, watching the sunset cast its golden hues across the sky, I knew that our future was bright with possibilities. Together, we had overcome the darkest moments of our past, embracing a future filled with love, hope, and endless possibilities. In the end, our journey had taught us that while the road to healing was not always smooth, it was worth every moment of struggle and sacrifice. We had found our way back to each other, stronger and more united than ever, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, hand in hand. In the months that followed our journey through betrayal, revenge, and redemption, Olha and I found ourselves settling into a new rhythm of life, one defined by healing, growth, and a renewed sense of purpose. Our decision to focus on rebuilding our relationship had paid off in unexpected ways. We had emerged from the turmoil stronger and more connected than ever before. Our communication had improved, and we had learned to lean on each other during times of uncertainty. One of the most significant changes was our newfound ability to forgive, not just each other, but ourselves as well. The wounds of betrayal had run deep, leaving scars that took time to heal. Through therapy and open dialogue, we had confronted our past mistakes and shortcomings, finding solace in the understanding that forgiveness was a crucial part of moving forward. Our journey had also brought us closer to our families and friends. They had stood by us during the darkest moments, offering support and encouragement when we needed it most. Their unwavering belief in our ability to overcome adversity had been a source of strength, reminding us that we were never truly alone in our struggles. As we settled into a routine of stability and peace, we began to envision a future filled with hope and possibility. Olha's artwork continued to flourish, gaining recognition in local galleries and bringing her a sense of fulfillment she had never experienced before. Her paintings became a reflection of her inner journey, a testament to resilience, creativity, and the beauty that could emerge from pain. For my part, I found fulfillment in my work and volunteer endeavors. I dedicated more time to mentoring young adults, sharing my experiences and offering guidance to those navigating their own paths. Giving back to the community became a way for me to pay forward the support and encouragement I had received during my own journey of healing. Together, Ola and I embarked on new adventures, exploring different cultures, cuisines, and landscapes. Travel became a way for us to create lasting memories and deepen our bond, celebrating our newfound appreciation for life's simple joys and the strength we had gained from overcoming adversity. One sunny afternoon, as we walked hand in hand along the beach near our home, Olha turned to me with a smile. "Do you remember where we were a year ago?" she asked softly. I nodded, feeling a surge of gratitude for how far we had come. "It feels like a lifetime ago," I replied, "but I wouldn't change any of it. Our journey has brought us here, to this moment of peace and happiness." Olha squeezed my hand, her eyes sparkling with warmth and love. "I'm grateful for everything we've been through," she said. "It's made us who we are today." As we stood together, watching the waves crash against the shore, I felt a profound sense of peace wash over me. The scars of betrayal had faded, replaced by a deep sense of gratitude for the strength and resilience we had discovered within ourselves and each other. In that moment, I knew that our journey was far from over. Life would continue to present challenges and uncertainties, but we had learned that with love, patience, and unwavering commitment, we could face anything together. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow across the sky, Olha and I turned toward home, ready to embrace the future that lay ahead, a future filled with promise, possibility, and the enduring power of love. As Olha and I continued to navigate our journey of healing and renewal, we found ourselves reflecting on the lessons learned and embracing new beginnings with a sense of hope and determination. The aftermath of Ihor's downfall had settled into a quiet hum of recovery and growth. Our lives had regained a sense of normalcy, enriched by the depth of understanding and resilience we had cultivated through our shared experiences. Reflecting on our journey, we realized how far we had come from the tumultuous days of betrayal and vengeance. Our relationship had evolved into a sanctuary of trust and mutual respect, built on a foundation of honesty and open communication. One of the most profound shifts had been in our perspectives toward forgiveness. We had learned that forgiveness was not about condoning the actions of others, but about releasing the hold those actions had on us. By forgiving Ihor and ourselves, we had liberated ourselves from the weight of anger and resentment, allowing space for healing and personal growth. Our commitment to personal growth had led us to explore new passions and interests. Olha continued to immerse herself in her artwork, using painting as a medium for self-expression and reflection. Her art had evolved into a powerful testament to resilience and beauty, emerging from adversity, resonating with viewers who connected with the emotional depth of her creations. For my part, I had delved deeper into my professional endeavors and community involvement. I found fulfillment in mentoring and supporting others, drawing from my own experiences to offer guidance and encouragement. Giving back to the community had become a source of joy and purpose, reinforcing the importance of compassion and empathy in my personal journey. Together, Olha and I embraced opportunities for growth and exploration. We traveled to new destinations, savored culinary delights, and reveled in the simple pleasures of life. Each adventure strengthened our bond and reinforced our shared commitment to creating a future filled with love, joy, and meaningful experiences. One pivotal moment came during a visit to a tranquil mountain retreat. Surrounded by towering peaks and serene landscapes, we found solace in nature's embrace. As we hiked through winding trails and watched the sun set over the horizon, we reflected on the transformative power of our journey. "I never imagined we would find such peace," Olha murmured, her voice filled with wonder. "Nor I replied, squeezing her hand gently. "Our journey has been a testament to the resilience of the human spirit." In that moment of reflection, we realized that our journey had been about more than overcoming betrayal and seeking redemption. It had been a journey of self-discovery, growth, and the unwavering belief in the healing power of love. Returning home, we embarked on a new chapter of our lives with renewed purpose and optimism. We continued to cherish the moments of quiet intimacy and celebration, savoring each day as a gift. As we stood together, gazing out at the world beyond our doorstep, we knew that our journey was far from over. Life would continue to present challenges and opportunities for growth, but we faced the future with confidence, knowing that we had weathered the storm together and emerged stronger than ever. With hearts full of gratitude and hope, Olha and I embraced the dawn of a day filled with endless possibilities, and the promise of a future shaped by resilience, love, and the enduring strength of our bond. As Olha and I embraced the serenity and renewal that had come with our journey, we found ourselves looking ahead with optimism and anticipation for the future that lay before us. The tumultuous events of our past, marked by betrayal and redemption, had shaped us in profound ways. We had emerged stronger and more resilient, our bond forged through the fires of adversity. Our relationship had evolved into a sanctuary of trust, understanding, and unconditional love. One of the defining aspects of our newfound strength was our unwavering commitment to each other's growth and happiness. We supported each other's aspirations and dreams, celebrating individual achievements as milestones of our shared journey. Olha continued to thrive in her artistic pursuits, her paintings resonating with an emotional depth that captivated audiences and reflected her journey of healing and renewal. For my part, I had found fulfillment in my professional endeavors and community involvement. I dedicated time to mentoring and supporting others, drawing from my experiences to offer guidance and encouragement. Giving back had become a cornerstone of my personal growth, reinforcing the importance of empathy and compassion in shaping a meaningful life. Together, Olha and I embraced new adventures and experiences, savoring the richness of life's moments and cherishing the bonds of friendship and family that had sustained us through our darkest hours. We traveled to distant lands, explored different cultures, and reveled in the beauty of nature's wonders, each journey deepening our appreciation for the world around us and strengthening our connection to each other. One memorable trip took us to a serene coastal town, where we walked hand in hand along sandy shores and watched as the sun dipped below the horizon in a blaze of colors. As we stood together, bathed in the warm glow of twilight, Olha turned to me with a smile. "Do you remember where we were just a few years ago?" she asked softly. I nodded, reflecting on the trials and tribulations we had faced together. "It feels like a lifetime ago," I replied. "But our journey has brought us here, to this moment of peace and happiness." Olha leaned against me, her warmth comforting. "I'm grateful for everything we've been through," she said. "It's made us who we are today." In that tranquil moment, surrounded by the gentle rhythm of the ocean and the whisper of the evening breeze, I realized how far we had come from the shadows of betrayal and vengeance. Our journey had been a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of love. Returning home, we embraced the opportunities that lay ahead with renewed purpose and optimism. We continued to nurture our relationship, building a future grounded in mutual respect, communication, and unwavering support for each other's dreams. As we looked ahead to the years to come, we knew that challenges would inevitably arise, but we faced the future with confidence and resilience, knowing that we had weathered the storm together and emerged stronger than ever. With hearts full of gratitude and hope, Ola and I embraced the dawn of a chapter filled with endless possibilities, shared adventures, and the boundless promise of a future shaped by love, resilience, and the enduring strength of our bond. As Olha and I continued our journey together, we found ourselves immersed in a season of gratitude and renewal. The trials of our past had sculpted us into individuals with a deeper appreciation for life's blessings and a profound sense of resilience. Our days were filled with moments of quiet joy and reflection. We savored the simple pleasures of everyday life, the warmth of morning sunlight filtering through our windows, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee filling our kitchen, and the laughter shared over meals with friends and family. One of the most transformative aspects of our journey had been our newfound ability to embrace gratitude. We had learned to find beauty in the ordinary, to cherish the small victories, and to express gratitude for the love and support that had sustained us through difficult times. Olha's artwork continued to flourish, each painting a testament to her journey of healing and self-discovery. Her canvases captured the essence of hope and resilience, resonating with viewers who found solace in the emotional depth of her creations. Art had become not only a passion, but also a means of connecting with others and spreading a message of healing and renewal. For my part, I had found fulfillment in my work and community involvement. I dedicated time to mentoring and supporting others, drawing on my experiences to offer guidance and encouragement. Giving back had become a cornerstone of my personal growth, reinforcing the importance of empathy and compassion in making a positive impact on the world around me. Together, Ola and I embraced the opportunity to give back in meaningful ways. We volunteered at local shelters, organized community events, and contributed to causes that were close to our hearts. Each act of kindness and generosity reinforced our commitment to making a difference and reminded us of the power of collective action in creating positive change. One memorable experience came during a volunteer trip to a remote village, where we worked alongside locals to rebuild homes damaged by natural disasters. As we hammered nails and painted walls under the scorching sun, we forged connections with community members whose resilience and spirit inspired us. "Isn't it incredible?" Olha remarked, wiping sweat from her brow. "Despite everything they've been through, they still find reasons to smile." I nodded, humbled by the strength and resilience of the people we had met. Their courage is a reminder of what's possible when we come together to support each other. Returning home, we carried with us a renewed sense of purpose and gratitude. We continued to cherish the moments of connection and camaraderie that had defined our journey, knowing that each experience had shaped us into individuals committed to making a positive impact on the world. As we looked ahead to the future, we knew that challenges would inevitably arise, but we faced them with courage and resilience, fortified by the lessons of our past and the strength of our bond. Our journey had taught us that life was a tapestry of experiences, some challenging, others joyful, but each contributing to the richness of our shared story. With hearts full of gratitude for the journey we had traveled together, Olha and I embraced the promise of new beginnings, a future shaped by love, resilience, and the unwavering belief in the transformative power of gratitude and renewal. As Ola and I continued to navigate the currents of our lives, we found ourselves embracing the inevitability of change with a newfound sense of openness and acceptance. Our journey, marked by trials and triumphs, had taught us the profound truth that growth often emerges from the willingness to embrace transformation. One of the significant changes in our lives was our decision to relocate to a new city. The opportunity arose unexpectedly, presenting us with a chance to start afresh in a vibrant community known for its cultural richness and opportunities for personal and professional growth. We were drawn to the city's bustling art scene, where Olha hoped to expand her artistic horizons and connect with fellow creatives who shared her passion for creativity and expression. The process of moving was both exhilarating and daunting. We packed our belongings with care, bidding farewell to the familiar comforts of our old home while eagerly anticipating the adventures that awaited us in our new surroundings. As we settled into our new home, we marveled at the sense of possibility that filled the air, a palpable energy that fueled our aspirations and dreams for the future. Olha wasted no time immersing herself in the local art community. She joined workshops, attended gallery openings, and collaborated with other artists on projects that showcased her talent and creativity. The city's vibrant atmosphere provided endless inspiration for her artwork, which continued to evolve as a reflection of her personal growth and artistic journey. For my part, I embraced new professional opportunities that aligned with my passion for community service and advocacy. I became involved in local initiatives aimed at promoting social justice and equality, using my skills and experience to contribute to meaningful change within our new community. The work was challenging, but deeply fulfilling, reinforcing my belief in the power of collective action to create positive impact. Together, Olha and I navigated the ups and downs of settling into a new environment. We explored the city's diverse neighborhoods, sampled its culinary delights, and formed friendships with neighbors who welcomed us with warmth and hospitality. Each day brought new discoveries and opportunities for growth, reminding us of the resilience and adaptability that had guided us through our journey together. One transformative experience came during a visit to a local park, where we stumbled upon a community garden bustling with activity. Intrigued by the sight of neighbors coming together to tend to their plots, we decided to volunteer our time and expertise, joining efforts to cultivate a space that nourished both body and soul. The act of gardening became a metaphor for our own journey of growth and renewal, a tangible reminder of the beauty that could emerge from embracing change. As we looked ahead to the future, we knew that our journey was far from over. Life would continue to present challenges and opportunities for growth, but we faced them with courage and optimism, fortified by the lessons of our past and the strength of our bond. Our decision to embrace change had opened doors to new experiences and possibilities, shaping a future filled with promise and purpose. With hearts full of gratitude for the journey we had traveled together, Olha and I embraced the next chapter of our lives, a chapter defined by resilience, creativity, and the unwavering belief in the transformative power of embracing change. The decision to embrace change had brought Olha and me to a place of excitement and anticipation as we embarked on a new chapter in our lives. Our journey, filled with twists and turns, had led us to this moment of transition and renewal. We found ourselves settling into our new city with a sense of purpose and optimism. The vibrant energy of the community infused us with inspiration, fueling our aspirations and encouraging us to explore new avenues of growth and fulfillment. One of the most transformative aspects of our new beginning was Olha's burgeoning success in the local art scene. She quickly became immersed in gallery exhibitions, art fairs, and collaborative projects that showcased her talent and creativity. Her paintings continued to evolve, capturing the essence of our journey and resonating with viewers who were drawn to the emotional depth and beauty of her work. For my part, I embraced opportunities to contribute to our community through advocacy and volunteer work. I joined local organizations dedicated to social justice and environmental sustainability, channeling my passion for making a positive impact into tangible initiatives that benefited our city and its residents. Together, Olha and I embraced the diversity and richness of our new surroundings. We explored cultural landmarks, attended festivals and events, and forged friendships with individuals who shared our values and passions. Each day brought new experiences and opportunities for connection, reinforcing our belief in the power of community and the importance of embracing life's possibilities. One memorable experience came during a community art project where Olha and I collaborated with local artists to create a mural celebrating unity and diversity. As we painted side by side, blending colors and sharing stories with our fellow collaborators, we felt a profound sense of belonging and purpose. The mural became a symbol of our collective journey, a testament to the strength found in embracing change and embracing each other's differences. As we reflected on our journey, we realized that our past struggles had prepared us for the challenges and opportunities of our new chapter. We had learned the importance of resilience, adaptability, and the unwavering belief in the transformative power of embracing change. Looking ahead to the future, we knew that our journey together was far from over. We faced each day with gratitude and optimism, knowing that our experiences had shaped us into individuals who were ready to embrace life's adventures with open hearts and minds. With hearts full of gratitude for the journey we had traveled together, Olha and I looked forward to the next chapter of our lives, a chapter defined by creativity, connection, and the endless possibilities that awaited us in our new home.